everyone. Welcome to Pleasure Principles, the podcast where we explore the depths of sensuality, joy, and personal transformation. I'm your host, Avik, and today we are diving into a profound yet often misunderstood connection, the relationship between our sensuality, pleasure, and the sacral chakra. Yes. So joining me is the inspiring. Welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. That's so lovely. Yeah. So, Marcus, like before we start our conversation, I'd quickly love to introduce you to all of our listeners. Dear listeners, Marcus is also known as Crystallite, and he is the founder of Sacred Light Healing and the Wellness, a gifted, intuitive, shamanic practitioner and holistic life guide. So, from navigating addiction and trauma to creating sacred spaces for healing and the growth, Marcus' journey is one of the resilience, transformation, and the spiritual awakening. So he's here today to share and help us unlock the power of sacral chakra and reconnect with the flow of our inner creativity, pleasure, and harmony. So welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you for having me again. And I'm really loving, becoming a normal guest here. Feels really good. And I appreciate the opportunities.
Lovely, lovely. We are really, really very happy that you took your time and joined back us. So it's really, really great connecting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So Marcus, like we all know about the chakras we have in our body, and um, we try to activate and I truly believe in the chakras because this is something which is, I feel it's our like in our body, nervous system is the main um, root of our body. Same way, chakras is something which is connected to our subconscious and our whole body. So, uh, on this, like, what exactly? I mean, if you can share, like, what exactly is the sacral chakra and how does it influence our sensuality and the pleasure?
Yes, absolutely. So, as I begin here, what I usually do whenever I'm getting ready to cover anything about chakras is I kind of start off with this right here. And as
Okay.
we can see on the screen share, this diagram is a very basic diagram. And you can find probably millions of different diagrams like this in different ways. And basically, this diagram is going to demonstrate to you what it looks like to be a human being. So, the human being we may oftentimes think is just a physical flesh body.
Okay.
Well, in reality, our physical flesh body is actually just one dimension or one body of many bodies that we have within our
Okay.
whole entire aura or energy field that make up who we are. So with that being said, if you look here in this diagram, it says 7 chakras in the auric bodies. Auric bodies are the different layers or the different bodies that you can call what we're about to go through.
Mm.
And as you can see, you have the physical body, and the physical body is basically like in the center and also at the lowest of all of those different bodies and colors. And basically, the physical body is actually our most dense
Mm.
or our most lowest vibrational form of who we are. Now, this doesn't mean it's good or bad. It doesn't mean it's about, you know, positive or negative. It's just about density and rate of vibration. So the physical body has a more slower rate of vibration and light
Mhm.
speed energy so that it forms a material matter body. In order for material to be formed, energy, vibration, and light has to slow down into its lower vibration for the material to be able to form. So that is our physical body. It is the most dense version of ourself, and that means it's also the slowest vibrational version of ourself,
Mm.
which also means that the physical is going to be our last layer or our last body that is receiving the energy and the information that we are
Mm.
experiencing. And just like we see in this diagram, it's like a Russian doll. It kind of amplifies and expands from there out from the physical body. And the next one you have from the physical body is the etheric body.
Mm,
It's also known as the light body, the energy body, or the metaphysical body. The reason why it's called metaphysical is because it's the first layer from your
mm,
physical body, but it's also not pure spiritual light. It's
mhm,
a metaphysical. So it's in between physical, in between pure spiritual light. And what this light body does is it acts as a governing system,
mm,
or you can say it's a blueprint system. It's our matrix codes, it's our matrix system. It is also our intuitive, electrical, and light system as well. So, with that being said, every other layer that you see
mm,
coming out from the physical body and then out from the energy body, all of those different bodies, the mental body, the emotional body, the astral, and beyond, the only way that they're able to connect, the only way that they're able to bind and be experienced in your third dimensional physical human being is
okay.
through your energy light body as that blueprint system.
Mm,
So, this is where the chakras come in. The chakras are aligned with our energetic light body. So, the chakras are metaphysical,
mm,
they're subtle, they're not fully physical. And if we learn more in depth about the chakras, which maybe one day I will come on and just teach the seven chakras in depth, you learn that each of the seven chakras, they govern and occupy physical organs and glands and parts of our body. So these chakras are metaphysical versions of the organs and glands and different systems of our body. So, with that being said, and knowing that they govern those physical aspects, each chakra, depending upon the octave, the vibration, or the placement of that chakra, it is also going to connect you in relation
mm,
to different emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects that have to vibrate at that frequency of the chakra.
mm,
So, with that, the more we have healthier chakras, the more they're fluid, the more they're working, the more they're activated, then the more we have healthy emotions, we have healthy mental aspects, and we have a
mm,
healthy physical body. The more that these chakras are blocked up energetically, then we start having manifestations of disease, illness, cancer, and toxic manifested patterns in our life. So I just wanted to briefly describe what chakras were to give people a really, holistic perspective of
mm.
what a chakra is before we really dive into the sacral.
Understood.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Yes. So, uh, I'm really enjoying what you're mentioning. So it's a really, really great one. And also, when you mentioned about sacral chakra, so if you can share your personal journey of discovering the sacral chakra and its impact on your life.
yes. Um, would you like me to go ahead and describe what the sacral is specifically?
Sure, sure, please.
Awesome.
Mm,
All right. So yeah, I have this graphic pulled up on the screen share,
yeah.
and it's my graphic that I made for the sacral chakra. And I'm just going to briefly go through this and kind of relate how it connects to our sensuality, as well as our sexuality and our creativity.
Mm,
So the sacral is located below the belly button or below the navel, and the mantra for it is VAM. A mantra is just a vibratory vocalization that you can use to help attune and recalibrate that energy center. So then the traits of this specific chakra is that it vibrates and resonates naturally at 417 hertz via your sound healer. The color it associates with is orange.
mm,
So it represents the vibration of orange.
okay.
And then it also is the main energy center for our sexual life force energy. Along with that, it is also the main center for our sensuality and pleasure. So I'm going to touch on that a little bit. Sexual life force energy. This is basically just saying that this sacral center is the first chakra where we start to be able to experience the cultivation and the rising of our vital life force energy, or you can also call it your kundalini energy. These
Mm,
are all one and the same. Vitality, life force energy, sexuality, kundalini, all the same thing, different name. And the reason why the sacral is the main center for this is because at the root chakra, which is our foundation, the first chakra, sacral would
mm,
be considered second in this way. The root chakra is where our vital life force is stored. That's where it stays coiled, the serpent, that is, if you want to reference it that way. So then when you start to activate your root chakra and you start to awaken that serpent or that vital energy, you then start to raise it up your spine and raise it up your being. So then the next chakra and the first one it connects with is the sacral.
mm,
So with that being said, this is where we first in our human being start to experience the sensations of emotion, energy and motion. So if we have, unhealthy emotions or we're needing to amplify our emotions,
mm,
we can do sacral chakra activations and clearings to help open up the energies
mm,
of that aspect. Along with this, it's located right around, our different areas when it comes to sexual reproduction. So
mm,
therefore, it also has that direct correlation with our sexual life force.
mm,
And then due to it being the energy center where we feel our emotions, we also begin to sense and feel a connection to the outside world through our sacral chakra. So that's why it's related to sensuality and pleasure. Sensuality is your ability to feel with your five senses the energy and the emotion behind an experience and being able to really feel the connection, the
mm,
divine bliss, the blessing and the beauty of being alive and experiencing it. When you have a healthy sacral, you're really feeling that and you're allowing that to flow through you and you're being filled by that energy. But when you have a dampened sacral or a damaged sacral, then you're probably having a hard time feeling pleasure.
mm,
You're probably, more moody, more low vibrational in your emotions and thoughts.
mm,
And you're just not feeling connected to the world. You're not feeling the joy of the
mm,
things that you're experiencing. So, along with this, we also got to keep in mind, healthy boundaries, having honor and respect for ourselves and others when it comes to our sacrals. Because we also have to remember that sexual energy is not just about sex. Sexual energy is also about creating,
mm,
creativity, the ability to have vital energy to create, to work, to be productive.
mm,
So we don't have boundaries around our sexual energy and we're just leaking it out everywhere and we're just attracting vampiric energies that are draining us.
mm,
Then we're not even going to have the energy to create, to build our goals, to do the things that we're passionate about. And then also passion. This is where we start to feel our passion. And if we are not, honoring ourselves in ways that allow this to be alive, then it's going to be hard for us to even have passion and drive going into our days.
mm. Wow.
So, along with that, it also is the direct center for our inner child. So, the inner child is just the concept of the child within you that never goes away.
Mm,
And that child experiences and it picks up on traumas, joy, and other things.
mm,
Now, the inner child, this is where you can do sacral healing work if you have childhood traumas, childhood patterns, and other things that are continuing to stem into your adult life.
mm,
Now, lastly, this is also one of our main feminine centers. And this is where we have our creative energy begin to cultivate. And then it is where we begin to have relationships. So the sacral is our main center that teaches us as human beings on how to have healthy relationships.
Mm. That's lovely. Yeah.
So the last things I'm going to touch on here with the sacral is, what overactivations and what blockages can look like in this chakra. Because each chakra can be overactive or it can be blocked up depending upon the rate that chakra is rotating. So overactivations can be leaking of sexual energy. This is when you're being sexually inappropriate, you're kind of being predatory like, and you're just adultery like about everything and leaking that on to people and not even trying to have real relationships.
Right.
Another one is being overly affectionate to unhealthy outlets. So that's like when you're overly affectionate to people that are abusing you, that are using you, and
Mm.
aren't even showing you respect. And then lastly, we have extreme immaturity. So this being adultery like, having no maturity in certain settings. Then we'll move into blocks. Blockages can be from sexual trauma, emotional wounds, having no passion, creative blocks,
Mm.
being afraid of intimacy, struggling to have fun, and fear of being seen. These are all symptoms that can manifest from having blockages in your sacral chakra.
Mm.
And then as far as ways to help, balance, to amplify and get our sacrals flowing for our sensuality and creative energy, you can start with doing foods and herbs. Each chakra has foods and herbs that relate to it, and typically it has to do with the color. So we have oranges, mango, peaches, sweet potato, carrots, and apricot, flax, walnut, almonds, sesame, coconut, and cinnamon. And then along with that, there's also crystals that you can use for the sacral. And some of those crystals, if you're someone that likes crystals, pyrite, tiger's eye, citrine, sunstone, orange calcite, unakite, moonstone, and snowflake obsidian. And then, of
Mm.
course, you can look up the individual crystal itself to see what specific properties it brings, because they're going to do different things for the sacral. One could be for courage and determination. Another could be for emotional healing and softness. So you have all the information in your fingertips to look up. And then I'll also share a couple of tips on, how I balance and how I activate my sacral daily. And very simple things, actually. Dancing, listening to your favorite music, allowing yourself to be artistic, draw, write, journal, um, finding ways to have play, inner child play, whether it's video games, cartoons, anime, enjoying movies with family and friends, um, finding different yoga poses. There are
Yeah.
different yoga poses you can use, such as lizard pose, pigeon pose, and some others. And then you can always do guided meditations. There are hundreds and hundreds on YouTube. Type in sacral chakra meditation, and you'll have so many at the tip of your hands. Along with that, you can always use
Mm.
breath work, Reiki, as well as other practices. And then also finding ways to continue to think outside the box or
Mm.
try things outside the box when it comes to your creativity and things that you can, potentially have fun and enjoy with.
Lovely. Great. Cool. So, also, like, if you can share a simple, actionable step for our listeners to begin their journey towards sacral chakra healing today.
Yeah, absolutely. A very easy step that you can take, whether you're a beginner or that you're more advanced, is to really like find Find those outlets
Okay.
that really allow you to feel inspired. Find those outlets that have you feel the fun and the
Mm,
joy and the innocence that you like in life, and find ways to bring it into your day.
mm,
Even if it's just a 5-minute dance session, like if you can find a 5-minute interval
okay.
to go ahead and put on some of your favorite music that you love to dance to and just be in your own space and flow, that 5 minutes can alter your whole entire day more than you think because you're transmuting energy, you're releasing your hips, you're releasing the sacral, you're getting your fire flowing. And sometimes that's all it takes is finding those little movements, those little ways to open you up real quick that can get that fire rolling. Because really, it's just that fire's a little stuck, it's just a little stagnant. So we get that moving, the next thing you know, momentum starts building. And then when you get that momentum, it's then up to you of what you do with that momentum. Do you continue to nurture it? Do you continue to foster it with healthy diet, healthy words, healthy thoughts, actions? Or do you kind of build it up and then fall back into depressing cycles or negative cycles and not continue to build it? It's a ongoing process here as a human being. And just remember, it's not a one-stop shop. There's no destinations, and we are all in this together. We are all part of it. It's a daily process, including for myself. And I just want to remind you guys, as I usually do, remember to be kind, be gentle, and give yourself grace during this process.
Okay. Okay. Lovely. Great. So, I mean, on this, one more thing, like listeners might ask that what if I don't feel anything when I try to connect with my chakras? So, how do you address this skeptics?
Okay. Well, um, I really haven't really had anybody come to me with that, but one thing that I like to do for people is, if they want to feel their chakras in a way that they're feeling it, so to say, is you can take your hand and you can place your hand palm facing you, and you can pretty much place your hand a couple inches from your physical body in different areas where the chakras are aligned. And then if you just place your hand there and then just kind of let go of the control of your hand, you'll be able to energetically feel a natural rotation start to happen with your hand. That natural rotation, whether it's counter or clockwise, is basically your chakras being experienced in where they currently are. If they're, overactive or underactive, your hand will actually naturally start rotating it with Reiki energy to make it either active or more underactive to balance it. So that's something you can always try if you're someone that likes to feel energy and different things. Go through your different chakra locations, just set your hand there. Try not to have expectation and just feel the energy and then feel if your hand starts to move a little bit and you'll feel where your chakras are at. Along with that, just try out a meditation or continue to try these practices and just know that, we can have a lot of blockages in our chakras. So it can take some time to unbury them, which means it'll take a little bit of patience, consistency, a little bit of willpower, because it's not a one stop shop again. We got to think if our whole life we've been shoving things into our being that are causing blockages every single day for 40 years, 20 years, however long it is, there's
Mm.
going to be a little bit of work to do. There's going to be a little bit of layers to peel. And the more that we continue to stay at it through trust, faith, devotion, then we'll start to feel more of ourselves. But we got to have that trust.
True. Lovely. Yeah. Great. Ah, Uh, Thank you so much, Marcus, for sharing your wisdom and guiding us through this enlightening conversation. And reconnecting with our sacral chakra isn't just about pleasure, but it's all about rediscovering our authentic selves. So, if you loved today's episode, dear listeners of Pleasure Principles, do not forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support helps us keep the good vibes flowing. So, until next time, this is your host, Avik, reminding you to embrace your power, trust your intuition, and find joy in the journey. So, stay connected, stay inspired, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.